full review of fractions, including percentage calculations, decimals, and moving from decimal form to percentage to fractions and vice versa. And finally, we're going to do order of operations. That's PETMAS for US friends if you're from US and Europe, or BEDMAS if you're in Canada and UK and that area. All right, and we are going to include fractions because fractions tend to be harder than integers. All right, let's start.
And I've got 4 different shapes here. By the way, these shapes are all over the internet. You can actually use them and go through them. And each one represents different fractions. Now look at the triangle first, okay? So this triangle, notice that one side, so the triangle has been cut in half, okay? And one part of it is shaded green, which is right here. That's the part that is shaded green. And this part, it represents half of the entire triangle, and therefore the fraction that represents the shaded area or the non-shaded area, it doesn't really matter because half of the triangle is being shaded and the other half is not. That's how we kind of represent that shaded area by a fraction. So half of the shape, that triangle, is shaded, or half of the triangle is not shaded. Look at this square, this square right here, this one. Well, this square has been cut into 4 equal small squares. One of these squares being shaded blue. And because of this is 1 out of the 4 possible total of the entire square, so there are 4 small squares that represents the entire big square. So because of one part of the 4 has been shaded, we say that's a quarter of the square has been shaded blue. Now can we write up the fraction that represents the non-shaded region, the 3 squares, the small squares that are not shaded? Well, that's 3 out of 4. The way we say it, we say 3/4. And 3/4 represents the number of squares, or the fraction of the total square that is not shaded. Okay, so that's how that goes. All right, look at the next one. Now the next one is a heptagon, 7-sided polygon. Heptagon, that's what it's called, and one of them is shaded yellow. So that represents 1/7 of the total heptagon that is shaded. Now if I go ahead and shade however many that I want, now by the way, what is the fraction that represents non-shaded region of this heptagon? How many parts that are left? Okay, how many parts that are left? 6 parts. Notice that 6 of these triangles are not shaded. So that means 6/7 fraction of the entire heptagon, it is not shaded. Okay, so not shaded. And the last one is 1/16. The 1/16 is this circle that has been partitioned to 16 equal, basically, slices. That's 1/16 of the entire circle. And if you continue like adding, let's say, another one right here, or adding another one right there, so we got 2 more plus 1, that's 3. So now we have 3/16, and you can keep doing that. You can shade 8 of them, and that becomes 8 out of 16. You can, if you shade 8 of these, that become 8 out of 16. You can shade 12 of them, that would be 12 out of 16. And this is how you show fractions through pictorial representations. Okay, now here's a challenge for you. Can you come up on your own and you choose a fraction, and I want you to choose a fraction that is less than 1. Okay, so don't choose a fraction that is bigger than 1. Choose a fraction less than 1 and come up with diagrams, any diagrams, rectangles, triangles, heptagon, doesn't matter what they are, octagon, doesn't matter, circles, and come up with the different variation of any type of fractions. Start with half, quarter, a third, whatever that you would like, and let's see what you come up with. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about fractions and divisions And we want to know, are they the same? Question for you, what do you think? Yes, they are. Let's go through some example. When we write 2/4 as a fraction, another way of writing that is 2 divided by 4. Another example, let's flip that over. 4/2 as a fraction, but this fraction sign, it's actually the same as the division symbol, operation symbol, okay? So here, 4 divided by 2, we can write it as 4 divided by 2 because this fraction line is the same as division line. 4 divided by 2, we know that's 2. And we also know that 2 divided by 4, or 2/4, we know that we can have the GCF, the greatest common factor, and divide that. So another way of writing 2/4, so I'm going to write it here. Okay, 2/4, another way of writing it is 2 divided by 2 times 2. That means I'm basically putting 4 into prime factorization as a product of the prime numbers, and now we can see that the greatest common factors of the 2 and 4 is 2. So now 2 divided by 2, that's just 1. So the denominator will have 2 left, which is right here, and the numerator is left is 1. So 2/4 is actually 1/2, okay? These are called equivalent fraction. All right. Okay, for each of these, let's write the equivalent fraction. Great. Can we simplify each of these? Let's go through them. And again, the first one, 15 divided by 3. That's just a multiplication table. That's 3. How many 5s go into 15? 3 of them. All right. The 9 and 18. So notice that 9 goes into 18 and 9 goes to 9. So we can actually simplify that as 9/9 times 2. Now I'm doing this the long way. As you get faster and faster, you can do that in your head. So you can say 9 goes into 9 once, 9 goes into 18 twice, and notice that you get the same setup here. 9 divided by 9 is 1, and then you get the numerator 1 on top, the denominator is 2. So 1/2 is the answer to 9 divided by 18, or 9/18. Next one, 12/48. So that becomes 1/4. All right, so in this lesson, we are going to change the decimal form to fraction form. So let's do a review. Now, you know that 1/10 right here, the way I've written it as a fraction, when you use your calculator, or you just may have known it already, is 0.1. When you do the 1 divided by 10, you get 0.1. Now, if it was 1/100, you'll get 0.001, and look at the decimal there. Look what happens that if I move this decimal point to the front of 1, that is only 1 0. So 10 is a division by 10. If I move this decimal, if the decimal is being moved once, twice, do you see that? 2 places, 2 times, then you notice that there are division by 100, or the fraction is over 100. There are 2 zeros. So if we change this back and forth, we can go this way, 1 divided by 10 is 0.1, or I can give you 0.1, and you can use the same concept by moving the decimal and then changing it as a fraction over whatever the decimal movement is. If it's 1 count, that would be over 1/10. If there are 2 counts move the decimal in front of the number, that would be over 100. And guess what happens if you have 0.001? It's been moved how many times? Once, twice, 3 times. So that means it will be 1/3 zeros, or 1000. So I put 1/1000. So let's go ahead and let's do more examples. Okay, so let's look at the first one, 2.5. We're going to change that to a fraction. Now notice that we have this decimal right there, 2.5. Okay, so that is a decimal there. Just make sure that you know that. All right, so we have that. We have to move it to the front, to the right side, in front of the 5, and we are moving it only one placement. That means it will be 25 divided by 10. We are moving it only by one digit. Okay, let's look at the next one. This is a decimal point. We're going to bring it all the way to the front of the number 5 right here. Okay, that's where we're going to put. We're going to bring this this guy all the way to the front. How many times? 1, 2, 3 plus 3. So now this decimal in front, we're going to rewrite that as 425 because the decimal has moved in front now, divided by, this time 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1000. Last one, 0.033 over 100 because we moved it to placement. Okay, 2 places. Let's continue working with fractions. This time we're doing combined operations. We're going to do BEDMAS, the order of operations. This time we're going to use only rational numbers or fractions. All right, remember BEDMAS, okay? BEDMAS is the order of operation and we have to follow that. So first we have to deal with the brackets. All right, so that means you're going to go ahead, add this fraction. Remember lowest common denominator, and then make sure that the numbers are the same, and then add the top. Okay, so that's what you will get. You'll get -6 over 10 plus 5 over 10, and just the LCD was 10. Okay, 2 times 5. We polish that, so -6 plus 5 is -1 over 10, writing one of the denominators, times the fraction -2/3. Now we're going to go ahead and multiply the two fractions. And remember, when you're multiplying them, you can simplify before multiplying them, or you can simplify after. But regardless of how you do that, make sure the multiplication comes in, multiply the top numbers, multiply the denominators, numerators and denominators, right? And then you simplify, okay? Or you can simplify in advance. So for example, right here I can simplify 2 and 10. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 10 5 times. So now I can just say -1 right here, -1 times 1, so it would be -1 on top, over, and then 5 times 3, right? That's what I'm multiplying now. But then remember that there is a negative value right there for the 2/3. So there is a negative there and a negative there. So if I actually include the negative, let's include the negative to the 15. So I'm going to include it right here. Okay, so this becomes -15. So the final answer will end up being +1 over 15. So let's look at this example, a little bit more complicated. But again, BEDMAS applies. Remember, you have to do the bracket first. So this bracket, the two fractions are being multiplied. So we're going to go ahead, simplify that, and then rewrite. So the first thing first, make sure as you're doing, because it's a multiplication, just be aware there's a multiplication. So you can actually simplify the 16 and 4. 16 divided by 4. That would be just 4. So I can just go ahead and rewrite that as 3 times -4, -12. So multiplying it like that, and then 1 times 7 is 7, and that becomes your denominator. Rewrite the first -6 over 7, and now we are going to add the fractions. And since the fractions, they have same denominators, you can just go ahead and write one of the denominators and then just do the subtraction. -6 plus -12 is basically -12. Based on that, you have -18 over 7. Can you simplify this? No, this is the final answer. That is it. All right, we're going to continue working with order of operations. So here are a couple of more examples. Okay, here's the first question. Let's do that. All right. BEDMAS again applies. Remember, BEDMAS. All right, so we have to go do the division first. So it looks like that we got to deal with the 8 divided by 2. That's 4. So this is 4. If you rewrite the whole thing, will end up being there's a negative there, so that negative comes down. There's a negative 4. So let me rewrite. All right, next step. Now we're going to deal with the addition and subtraction. Remember, there is two negative signs beside each other. This is negative 5 minus negative 3. So that's a plus. Okay, that becomes plus sign right there. So minus 5, negative 5 plus 3, that is negative 2. So let's do that. And then negative 4 comes down and negative 4. Great. And then the last step, we'll just put them all together. So negative 2 minus 4, and that's negative 10. Okay, let's look at question number 2. We're going to follow BEDMAS again. And this time, the bracket does really matter, right? So this bracket right here and there, if you don't have that bracket, the answer to this question will not be the same. So now we have this bracket, we're going to deal with that first. So let's deal with that. That is 4 minus negative 5. Remember, negative beside a negative, that's positive. So that becomes 4 plus 5, that's 9. So let's rewrite. Negative 2. There's a number outside of this bracket, and there's no operational sign here. But by default, we say that's a multiplication. Okay? So that's very important. That's a multiplication. So negative 2 times 9 divided by negative 3. And now we're going to do multiplication. So multiplication division, but in this case we're just going to do from left to right. That's not going to make a huge difference. So let's do that. That's not going to make any difference actually. It's then corrected. Doesn't make any difference at all. So let's do that. So the final answer, that's minus 18 divided by minus 3. Negative divided by negative is positive. That's the positive sign. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. Positive 6. Okay, that's the final answer. So let's actually look at the this question or this part right here, and let's do the division first. I want to show you that if you do the division first, then multiplication, that's not going to make a difference. Okay, here we go. Times 9 divided by negative 3. So let's do this first. Okay, let's do the 9 divided by 3, negative 3 first. So what we have here, 9 divided by negative 3, the answer will be negative 3. Great. All right. So now we have the negative 2 that has to be multiplied because it's a multiplication in here, right? So remember, that's a multiplication here. So the sign here is a multiplication. So what is negative 2 times negative 3? That is positive 6. And look, they're both the same. Okay? So